What's going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome back into the Quick Pitch MLB DFS podcast and live stream, breaking down Thursday's 6-game main slate. And if you're familiar with the show over the last handful of days, you know we've been breaking down the DraftKings slate. You're currently looking at the FanDuel slate, and James, that is because DraftKings right now having some sort of technical issues. When we go to click through the DraftKings slate, it tells us that we can only reserve entries. We can't actually see the player pool as we record here at 11:30 on Wednesday evening. So today we're going to break down FanDuel, but you and I play on FanDuel, so this really isn't a stranger to it. We just know that a lot of our listeners, a lot of the members of Fantasy Alarm, they're generally over on DraftKings, but I do know that there are some FanDuel players out there, and our analysis carries over. When it comes to guys that we like and how we break it down, all of that kind of follows through with one another. There's just slight differences about how you build your rosters over on FanDuel. The single pitcher, the catcher first base, instead of making you pick a catcher and a first baseman, and then the utility. Some of the scoring slightly different, but all in all, outside of that and salary, you know, the players we're telling you we like are the players we're building our lineups around, both on DraftKings and on FanDuel.
Yeah, the one caveat I'd say is given, like, for example, on Wednesday's slate, JT Realmuto was 5'6" on DraftKings compared to 31 on FanDuel. It's like, in those instances, Kyle Schwarber was 6K on FanDuel or on DraftKings. He was 3,200 on FanDuel.
I would say the biggest discrepancy I've seen of late has been we've been playing Grissom at min price basically over on DraftKings, and he was the top price second baseman on FanDuel the last slate. So yes, there's certainly going to be some price differences as we go across. We're still going to talk about the players that we like, and if they're a discount on DraftKings, great, play them. If they're discount on FanDuel than DraftKings, fantastic, go there as well. With 6 games, though, James, let's get into it. This one should be a pretty quick breakdown of the slate, especially when it comes to the pitcher position. I don't know about you, but I am looking at the very top here, and I see Jacob deGrom at $12,500 as the top price pitcher at home against Colorado. He's been great in his handful of starts since his return. Sure, Atlanta got to him a little bit last time out, but still, 6 2/3 innings, got you the quality start. Last 3 games with strikeouts, 9, 10, and 12. He's at lead as they come. $12,500, a one-pitcher site. I say 60+% ownership on him for this Thursday slate.
Yeah, I'd say 60+ as well. $2,800 a player. If you use deGrom on FanDuel, that's fine. He's going to be popular. You want him in your lineup, especially. He hasn't necessarily even been at his best. Like his last start, 3 earned runs, still gets you 42 fantasy points. The pitch count's only on the rise, and this is an even better matchup than it's been. Colorado on the road against a righties. Exactly where we want them. So deGrom is your top dog, and Nola Gausman follow. I think both of us are probably going to be in lockstep here with Kevin Gausman because he's dominated
Boston this year. He's faced them like 4 or 5 times. Last time out, only 5 innings, but had 10 strikeouts in that game. He had another start here, 7 shutout, 10 strikeouts, and he pitched them back-to-back games to start the year. 14 innings in those 2 starts, 17 strikeouts, just 1 earned run allowed. So we're looking at 4 total earned runs in, like, quick math here, where maybe like 20 innings, right? Like, it's some absurd number there. So I'm with you there. I think Gausman's my number 2. Nola against Cincinnati is certainly a good spot, knowing what Cincinnati's rolling out there for a lineup. Donovan Solano, as good as he's been, is their cleanup hitter. So Nola certainly in a spot. Roughed up by the Mets last time out, but still had a lot of strikeouts. So top 3 guys for me, deGrom, Gausman, Nola, is how I'm going to rank them. If we look at that mid-tier, I'm just going to kind of clump those next 4 guys together. Let me know how you think they should fill out. Luis Garcia at home against Minnesota at $9,800. Jameson Taillon on the road at $9,400. Lance Lynn is at $9,100 on the road against Baltimore. And then Jordan Lyles, $8,500 at home.
Yeah, so I think right off the bat, Garcia is dead last. I don't think there's a lot of upside. I know Minnesota's offense is weaker with Byron Buxton on the IL, but Garcia just has not provided us with upside warranting a near 10K price tag on FanDuel. You'd have to date back to July 12th that he got more than 33 fantasy points, and that's just not going to get it done at 98. I like Taillon. I think the most popular in this tier is Lance Lynn. Lynn's been better. He has a good pitcher's park in Baltimore, especially against a righty-heavy lineup like Baltimore has. So I like Lynn. I think Taillon's the pivot, though. He's given us 3 40 fantasy point games or better in 6 starts. He gets a rotting, horrible, decrepit, whatever phrase you want to use for this Oakland offense. They're all of it and more. So, and then Lyles is like that last piece. Like, man, I can't really get up to 9K because I like blank offense tonight. let me use Jordan Lyles, because we talk, there's not anything after him. I guess if MLB.com is leading us in the right direction, because currently we don't have a starter listed on FanDuel for Colorado. Ryan Feltner could be okay.
$6,600 on FanDuel, Ryan Feltner, but he is drawing that matchup against deGrom.
Yeah. So is he going to win? Probably not. So like Lyles is like that last piece. Like I have 8,500. I have not 8,700 to get to. Like, would I rather find 600 to get to Lynn? Do I think there's a lot of upside there? Yes, yeah. I would. But if you can't get to, if you're just like dropping 600 just to drop 600, like Lyles is fine.
Yeah. Giolito did fairly well against Baltimore here tonight. I know we talked a little bit before we jumped on Baltimore's recent success against right-handed pitching, and they can be pesky, certainly at times. So Cedric Mullins starting to hit the ball a little bit better. Austin Hayes did homer tonight. We know that Mountcastle has a lot of power. Rutschman really coming through for them. We like Jorge Mateo at the bottom of their lineup. So they have some guys that, in theory, you're like, all right, good matchup here against Baltimore, and then they hang 6 or 7. You're like, damn it, like this was they all clicked tonight. So, but overall, I'm kind of with you there. If you're playing on DraftKings, again, I imagine Lyles is going to be the cheapest of that group. He's probably in the low 7 because it's a smaller slate. They sort of will alter the price tags a little bit there. I wouldn't mind him as my punt SB2. We know the White Sox against right-handed pitching is a little bit more of a favorable matchup than them against lefties, but on a one-pitcher site like FanDuel, deGrom, Gausman, and then figure out your hitters. There's going to be some 2K guys here that we can plug in, especially in the outfield as we go across. So we'll go to the catcher / first base. This is one of the first differences outside of obviously pitching. We didn't really touch upon it, but pitching for FanDuel, only earned runs hurt you. They don't count walks or hits allowed against you. They give you points for quality starts, wins, strikeouts, innings pitched, and all that stuff. So it kind of benefits someone like Lyles a little bit more. Tie on a little bit more as well. They're not getting penalized for their walks and hits allowed. The other difference obviously is positionally here. Catcher, first base. When we're on DraftKings, James and I are always just sort of blowing through the catcher position. We don't spend much time on it because we just, we value more to the value guys and we move on. Don't even have to play a catcher today if you don't want to. You can. But first baseman that we like here, Vladdy, I think at home, on the road again against Boston, rather. Cutter Crawford coming off that game where he allowed 9 runs against Baltimore. We've talked a lot about Toronto of late, where on these larger slates, they kind of go overlooked. I don't think that's going to be a case here on a 6-game slate against Cutter Crawford. I think Toronto could be one of the more popular options, which will certainly put a guy like Vladdy in play. $4,000 though, if you're spending up for deGrom, you're really going to have to dig deep for some value in these following positions.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with your analysis of Toronto in general. I mean, it's 6 games and you can eliminate like 3 offenses being used because you're not using Oakland, you're not using Colorado against deGrom.
Probably not Cincinnati against Philly, right?
Yeah, probably not. And then you're probably not using
Boston against Gausman.
Well, I mean, I guess you could, but like, who's Boston's first baseman? Like, who? I mean, I guess you could. But
Frankie Cordero, I think it was today, because Bobby Dahlak played short.
And Frankie Homer. That was the only 2 runs. So, yeah, I think Toronto is going to garner a lot of ownership, but you're 100% correct. It's like you're picking basically because when we look through the positions, we're going to see Toronto's priced up, including Vladdy, obviously. Are we playing Toronto or are we spending up a pitcher? I mean, I want to get deGrom, maybe in deGrom less lineups. Like if I'm playing Gausman, Vladdy still allows $2,900 a player. So still very reasonable builds with those 2 guys.
If we're going down from Guerrero, a couple guys that catch my eye are a little bit cheaper. Jose Abreu at $3,500 still feels a little bit too cheap just as an overall. And then we've talked Jose Miranda, generally, again, more power against lefties, but we also know the batting average against both sits around 280 plus. So not an awful play, especially when we're not big on Garcia here.
Yeah, Miranda 282 or 284 average, 335 WOBA against lefty or righties. More power against the left-handed variety of pitcher, but we also know that left field wall, that short porch in Houston is very beneficial for a batter. So I like Miranda probably more than I like Abreu. You've talked about Jordan Lyles more than anyone else about his home and away split.
He's got a sub-3 ERA, I think it is, at home. Or last I checked, it was around there. So.
And no home runs. Yeah, like 3 home runs, I think the number is. So.
Yep, he does flirt a little bit with the Sabre stats. If you're looking at his expected ERA and all those things, like they're pretty bad, but at home he's been good. Rhys Hoskins at $3,200. What's the split we had on Dunn? Was it left?
Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
No, it is righty-centric to the
Okay.
So righties have wait for it, 1.4 PS, so 1400 OPS, 577 WOBA against Justin Dunn. Granted, 3 starts, but
Still.
jeez.
So Reese at 3,200.
Yep.
I mean,
coming off a big game.
Coming off a big game. We talked about not playing catchers, but Real Muto did homer tonight.
Yep.
3,200 again. If you're just going
cheap.
in that Philly stack, 30+% rostership for like all of them on DraftKings tonight. So
they were. I can fill you in a secret. They were that and more on FanDuel. Kyle Schwarber was 60%.
Right, because he was so cheap on FanDuel. So scrolling down a little bit here, Mountcastle's at 29. Again, if you want to just be a little bit different, I don't think many people will play Baltimore, but we do like some of the power. I'm good with just stacking Toronto again. Kirk actually had a decent game tonight. You're going to play Vladdy, but they do have the utility option there. So, if you find your way, he's a 4-hitter, keeps on raking. Certainly kind of could find his way into some lineups there. And then Mancini at $2,700 I'm good at.
Yeah, I think Mancini, Vogelbach for me under 3K. Kirk, I agree on Kirk, but the other two would be Mancini, Vogelbach. Vogelbach just keeps on keeping on, dude.
Yeah.
Keeps on keeping on.
Yeah, and Mancini, again, talk about power upside. Homered the other day, had 2 hits the game before that, so having himself a series here against Minnesota now gets Chris Archer. So
big night tonight, too, no? I think he had a good game. I think he had another... I'm looking through. I would open it on my computer, but I don't want my computer to crash.
Yeah, you want your computer
not
right
acting.
now, yeah.
1 for 2. Yeah, he homered again.
Okay, so back-to-back games then with homers for him. So
yeah, I mean,
right?
What did we say?
Sorry. So FanDuel showed tonight's game. So he homered tonight.
Okay.
And he had 2 hits on the day before that. So
we talked about this when the trade happened. He would have had like 8 or 9 more home runs, right? If he had played the full season in Houston. So.
Yep,
it's paying off. That trade's paying off for the Astros.
100%. I'll throw Steph Brown out there too if we're just again tying on the road hasn't been great. 2,400 cleanup hitter, maybe something there for Oakland.
Okay.
Second base position, Tuve at the top. Homer today had a big game.
Yep.
Certainly paid off his price point. Only $3,700. Top price guy, but $3,700 isn't awful. To spend there. We talked about Archer and that matchup for him. After that, where are you looking in this second base spot?
Archer has weirdly good numbers.
Yeah, he's been pitching okay. He's still got an ERA slightly above 4, but he's kind of skirted some damage. I don't think that holds up against Houston here.
I think Altuve for sure. I think Gene Segura is fine.
Did he have 3 or 4 hits tonight?
Yeah, 3 hits tonight. Super consistent. Like, he's just a good hitter.
Always a good
professional hitter. Yeah, always a good player. I have been playing a lot of Jeff McNeil, just because another guy who's not going to hit for power, but continues to just hit.
He's got 4 doubles in the last 4 games. So,
and on FanDuel, that's a 1.2 extra points because I think it's 6.2 or 6 point whatever it is on FanDuel. So Bryson Stott, another good game for him. He continues to rake, and that's shout out to Dom and Solano, but this isn't the slate for you, dog. So
right. Probably not 24. All of the A's guys are free.
Yeah, every single one of them is second base eligible and free. So if you want to go there.
Oh, who is this here? So Romy Gonzalez, maybe? I don't know if you want to throw him in there for a min-price 2K guy. He had 2 hits tonight for the. He's only played 3 games.
For the
2
White
hits
Sox.
For the White Sox. So
it's
sure. Don't need to go there. He's just a 2K guy.
Yeah, he's 2K.
Third base, Bregman's at 43. Devers is at 38. Again, not really playing Devers against Gausman, but we're clearly in on Houston, I think, against this spot against Archer and the Twins' eventual bullpen at $4,300. Chapman at 3K would probably be my next stop of guys we haven't discussed yet. And I know you're obviously on Bohm as well.
Yep. Yeah, I would probably play Bohm, but it's also dependent because I think Bohm is over Chapman in cash. That's a lock. But in tournaments, if you're playing Blue Jays, Chapman is...
He's the forgotten Blue Jay. So.
Yeah. It's funny. I was going to message you today. I was looking through ownership, and he was sorted by team, and he was clear cut the lowest of the starters. So I was like, no surprise there.
Right.
I mean, we like Caprillion, but you know what we like, John?
I'd say Road Josh Donaldson, man.
Road Josh Donaldson, $2,800, has been pretty good. Caprillion, by the way, as well, and we're going to get to it with a couple more Yankees. We didn't mention Glaber. You could play Glaber. We didn't mention LeMahieu. You could play LeMahieu.
Sure.
Brilliant actually struggles far more with righties. 820 OPS, 356 to righties, which, again, plays into our hand with Donaldson, who only does anything on the road, 353 WOBA on the road this year.
Yeah.
So I think Josh Johnson pretty sneaky. I don't think a lot of people are going to go there.
$2,800. Yeah, again, the consensus is the Yankees are struggling, so now you get them in a big ballpark against Oakland, and you may not be a fan, but you've been in on that for a while now. So falls. Let's see, Oswaldo Cabrera's 2,400 if he finds his way into the lineup, and then again, all of these Oakland guys are just free. So I don't have anybody else though.
No.
Okay. Shortstop position, Lindor's at the top here at 37. Correa against Garcia at 31. Mateo's at 3,100. So price bump for him on FanDuel. Pena's at 3K. Bo Bichette at 2,900 though. I mean,
yeah. It's been a kind of trend on FanDuel, I've noticed lately.
Yeah, he's got 5 hits the last 3 games for Bichette, so maybe he's starting to turn it around.
That has literally been every time I've ever written Bo Bichette up in the playbook this year. It's been like after like a 3-game hitting streak. I'm like, maybe there's signs of life.
Yeah, maybe here it is. Yeah.
And then it just doesn't happen. But, we just saw Cutter Crawford give up 100 home runs in 1 game. So,
and it's still Fenway Park where it's a hitter friendly.
It's still Fenway. So Cutter Crawford. Also, we didn't look what the Red Sox just did to this Toronto lineup tonight. They are underwhelming. They're going to be popular. So I couldn't fault you for continuing to fade them because, they haven't been as good as we thought they would be.
I mean, they did face. So, I mean, in fairness, and I guess maybe they did face Brian Bayo tonight, and I know that he had struggled, but he is considered one of the better pitching prospects in baseball, and he came off the IL and actually looked pretty good today. So, I'll give them a small pass.
Okay.
They faced a kid that's supposed to be a really good pitcher. Cutter Crawford is not that guy. So
I'm just looking. I mean, I guess 12th against righties this month in WOBA. So 12th in OPS.
Yep.
12th in ISO. So they're above league average.
Yeah.
So.
All right, let's go to outfield.
Yep.
Judge has been homering. He's at 4,800.
Yep. And I just mentioned Caprillion struggles more against righties, so I think this could be a good spot.
4,800 for him. We always know that Jordan's a guy that's in play. Tucker's at 4K. Those are the top 3 price guys. Springer at 39. I just like another 3 hits today. It's just he's been, after missing a couple games there, he's been on fire.
Yep.
Leading off at $3,900. Marte is at 37. Stanton is expected to come off the IL for this game.
Yep.
I don't know if that impacts your thoughts at all.
I mean, I think the Yankees righties are firmly in play against Caprillion. Sure. I think that they have shown some signs of life. I mean, there's a 3-game winning streak here. Judge is homering again. That's been the MO of the Yankees when Judge is homering. We've been really good, and that's what's happening. And Caprillion struggles with righties, and the Yankees are super righty heavy. So if Stanton 3,600, I would play him in if I'm playing 10 lineups, 1.
Yeah.
In a tournament. But yeah, if you're playing Yankee stack, if he's he's gonna hit 4th, right? So
yep. Teoscar's at 3,300, Schwarber's at 32.
You think Philly's probably super popular again with Justin Dunn?
Probably.
So we're gonna see another super popular day for Schwarber.
You mentioned that it's the righties, Schwarber obviously lefty, but
true. But Schwarber also just defies logic. Something he just hits home runs off guys.
All he does is hit home runs. He only hits 200, so. It doesn't do much else. Mullins at 31. Roberts is at 31. Llanos again. If you're going righties at $2,900, got to think people will be on that one.
Yep.
Nimmo all the way down to $2,800. I don't hate that. Leading off against Fedner potentially. You mentioned McNeil already.
Austin Hayes gets the righty. He's been better against righties.
Yep. Austin Hayes against the righties and better against righties. Kepler. Any thoughts on Kepler here?
Dude, he's been so disappointing this year. So disappointing.
2,600 for him. Gets Garcia.
I know we want to pick on Garcia, but the last time Max Kepler homered isn't even on the screen.
Sure.
It's not. We can't even scroll past July 10th. I don't know where the power has been sapped into. It just leaked into Fernando Tatis's hair with the steroids that he was taking. But Kepler he's just not doing it for me this year.
Anybody else for you? Any other value guys that you're taking a peek at, Dan?
On FanDuel, I just don't see anything. No, I get. We'd have to see lineups before. I mean, this is bad down here.
Yeah.
I don't think there has to be something probably because especially if you want to pay 40.
You could just keep
What
playing
was
the
Judge?
revenge narrative play with Jackie Bradley Jr., who's actually had a good series against Boston. So.
Yeah, if you want to play Jackie Bradley Jr., let me know what
Be your
contest.
guest.
Let me know what contest you're playing in.
All right, give me your home run call then.
Home run call.
No cores, so we're good. We don't have to worry about it.
No cores. I don't have to worry about it. What are you thinking here? Give me your thoughts on that.
I'm gonna go with George Springer.
That's a really good one. I was also looking into Boston. I'll go. You know what? Real Muto has been really damn good. He's had like 1,000 OPS since the All-Star break. 4 home runs in August. I'm gonna go Real Muto homers in back-to-back games here.
Okay, let's go build our lineup then. I'll say this, as we went along, I didn't really see a ton of like 2K guys that we were talking about.
I mean, I think
it'll be plug in deGrom, like you mentioned, 2,800.
Ooh.
We need a value. Let's go back down into that 2K range. Who stands out to us there? Nimmo is 28. Donaldson, we like Donaldson, right? 28.
Yeah, we like Donaldson at 28.
Segura at 28.
It's interesting. Stott was around that price tag too, wasn't he? Wasn't Stott around?
Stott's 27.
I feel like Stott has just been super consistent lately, so
Solano
I'd put him
was 24, but we didn't really love that spot.
No, we didn't love that spot for him. I can see the Mets running Tyler Naquin $2,200. He's just been bad lately. He was super good when they originally got him.
Your boy Chad Pinder's 23.
We have to fade deGrom?
I'm not fading him. I'm figuring out a lineup to get him in there. Donaldson, Stott.
We're just going to have there's going to be no juice. Like, we could play Austin Hayes. We could play Mancini 2,700. We like Trey Mancini. We like that matchup quite a bit.
I did. We're still at 28. We need a 2K. We pretty much need a 2K.
Yeah, we need to punt.
We need to settle in on a 2K, or likely gonna be
Oakland Athletic. Let's see. Do we have? So Tyone has been worse against lefties. So Seth Brown has been their best hitter. He's been their best hitter against right-handed pitching. 16 home runs, 330 WOBA. I know Tony Kemp has been good lately. 2,300. He hits second, and by good, Oakland Athletic standard. Good. That's not saying very much. Yeah, I mean, they're the cheapest team on the board. We could build a pretty good lineup with the Phillies overall, too. Ling had a really good game tonight, 2 for 3 with a triple. He's now gone home run, triple in back-to-back games, 18-plus fantasy points. If we wanted to avoid a Oakland.
I'm up to 3K a player at the moment.
Who did you use? Seth Brown?
I did.
Okay, so let's run through the lineup real quick.
I got deGrom, Mancini, Segura, Donaldson, Stott, and Brown, with 2 outfields and a utility remaining. You liked Hoskins, right?
Do you have Mancini in the outfield?
No, I have him at first catcher.
Where is Seth Brown? He's an outfield eligible player.
Yeah. Hoskins is only 32. We throw him in the util?
Yep. Agreed, for sure.
And then we need 2 outfielders at 2,900 apiece. So
let's throw
those at 28. McNeil's 27.
So I think we're split there because I'd probably go McNeil, and I think you'd probably go Nimmo. I think McNeil has been better form. I do agree that it's obviously like a bonus that we get more at bats for Brandon Nimmo, right? Because he'll lead off.
Yeah.
Castellanos is 29. I don't know if we want to keep just.
Yeah,
loading up Philly.
We got 4 Phillies. All right, we got the 5, 6, 7 projection right now with Hoskins hitting projected at second. That gives us a 3K outfielder to fill in the final spot.
3K outfielder to fill in the final spot. What are you feeling here? I mean, it's probably one of the Mets, right, against Feltner.
I mean, Can is 3K.
Nimmo, but we don't need to spend every. Yeah, we don't need to spend every dollar. Yeah. What do you think here?
Yeah.
We could go, John. If you don't want to go full Phillies, you know what I'm thinking. We could do it. We'll save $100. I think it will get us to 3,100.
Sure.
And that will get us like Mullins or Luis Robert. We could do. We leave Segura off. We move Stott to second, and we play Bo Bichette.
Oh yeah, I like that.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Where we could now plug Stott into second, and then we're not running a full Phillies. We're running a 3-man. right? And is that award just?
No, that's only 2,900. Bichette's more, but I actually don't mind that getting Bichette in that spot.
Yeah, I think Bichette has probably more upside than Segura does.
Right, even though Segura's been lacing.
Even though Segura has been good, sure. Lourdes
if Jimenez is in the lineup, I could do a one-off of Eloy.
Yeah, that could be true.
He's been hitting the ball really well lately.
He has been hit.
He just missed today's game.
He's been good this year in general. Super good.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's missing it for a reason. I mean,
elbow. It's an elbow.
They say elbow, but they don't mention elbow and like the reason he sat out. So.
Well, he also only had 2 at bats in that
Tuesday
game, in the Tuesday. Oh no, he had 2 walks, so he played a full game.
Right. Why don't we lock in Eloy here as a
let's just provide. Yeah, and we'll provide Nimmo as our pivot.
Yeah, that works.
If you guys are watching, Nimmo's our pivot.
Yeah, so we have deGrom, Mancini, Stott, Donaldson, Bichette, Brown, Jimenez, and Hoskins, and we have a 3-man Philly stack of Castellanos, Hoskins, and Stott.
I will say, if we were submitting this lineup, which we will have switched Seth Brown to util, just in case of a late scratch.
Sure.
That's something that commonly happens, and especially we're playing 3 guys that are eligible for first base, so we'll be able to swap things around. But we just saw Juan Soto scratch the other night, and people couldn't switch the lineups. But if that happens before roster lock, it's obviously we're able to switch with Seth Brown.
Obviously, again, if we were to pivot out from deGrom to Gausman, we'd have $2,000 more to play around with,
right? And
could make a more cohesive lineup. But if you want to get deGrom in here, I think we're pretty comfortable. I think we're pretty comfortable with what we're looking at. Yep. So that's what we got. Again, if you're watching this video, please give us a like. It certainly helps out the channel a lot. Subscribe if you aren't already. So subscribe. You can also go ahead and take advantage of our Playbook Pro offer, or All Pro offer that we got going on right now. You can get all of our premium content, DFS Playbook, access to our Discord with myself and James Grande, along with Justin Vreeland, Pete Cole, Colby Conway, Matt Sells, Ray Kuhn, the whole Fantasy Lineup team, Howard Bender, in there answering your questions as well. Take advantage of it right now. We have fantasylineup.com/allpro. Promo code NFL50 saves you 50% off the first 6 months, which means it takes you through the NFL season. So this is a package that you get all sports. We mentioned MLB, NFL is coming. James and I covered the NBA. We have NHL DFS, MMA DFS, NASCAR DFS, you name it. We cover it. It's 50% off for the first 6 months, which takes you through the NFL season. It's like $19.99 a month for the first 6 months, and you get access to literally everything. So got to go ahead, check that out. The link's in the description of the video you're watching now. Takes you right to the pricing page and take advantage of that offer. But for now, James and I will catch you guys later.